Welcome back to Something About a Pie. I'm Jason Hennig. Today, we are going to be talking about giants. So, you may be under the impression that giants aren't real. In order to dissuade this misconception, you only need to spend about 5 minutes Googling the word gigantism. This is a real disorder that happens to real human beings. The tallest man on record, Robert P. Wadlow, was 8 feet and 11 inches. Now, I would like to be clear that gigantism can cause many health issues, and the Bible doesn't say whether or not these problems happened for the giants in the Bible. But whatever the case, it serves as an example that humans can, and do, live to be very, very tall. I would also like to spend a little time dispelling another myth. There are many people in the religious community who believe that the Smithsonian Institute covered up the discovery of real giant remains in the early 1900s. This is universally a hoax. The original article was from a satirical news site and cited classified documents dated before the United States started classifying documents. That practice didn't start until World War I. While I am firmly of the belief that the passages describing giants in the Bible are true, it's still bad practice to accept misinformation just to further your case. You may have also, somewhere along the line, acquired the misconception that Goliath and other giants in the Bible were tens of feet tall, maybe as tall as a 2- or 3-story house. This is also distinctly unlikely. Without going into too much in the way of mathematics, suffice it to say that the human body, when extended to massive proportions, doesn't exactly hold itself up. Goliath and his fellow supersized folks were probably somewhere in the area of 8 to 12 feet. That's still plenty big. Somewhat more recently, film has also presented the story of Noah as including giants. This is also false. Nowhere in Noah's story is the ark accosted by giants with large boulders. But that's enough of what giants weren't. Let's talk about what giants were. There are a number of tribes in the Old Testament described as being giant, such as the Rephaim and the Nephalim. Obviously, there's also the example of Goliath. These giants all inhabited portions of the region of Canaan. They probably had bad backs and bad knees due to their enormous size, which would explain why Goliath had such a bad temper. They may have been formidable on the front lines, but they probably tired very easily and had to take frequent breaks. If you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, you've seen a little bit of this idea. When he uses his largest size for too long, he becomes exhausted and collapses. Same thing. These biblical giants were usually at odds with the Israelites, and for good reason. The Israelites were a nomadic group, and most of the giants were settled. When the Israelites began settling and expanding territory, they came into conflict. And of course, the side that God chose had a habit of winning those matchups. Nevertheless, the Bible is full of giants, and they're fascinating. So go ahead and check them out. You could probably just Google Rephaim, which is spelled like this. Anyway, I'm Jason Hennig, and I'll see you next time. When extended to massive proportions, put it again!